simple design of a yin-yang sign, and we're going to learn today how to transfer that onto felt. So the first thing we've done is we've blown it up, made it bigger so that the shapes are easier to work with. This is going to become our pattern. So what we do is we cut around it. No faces in the movie, please. Cut around it, and this becomes our pattern. So let me show you. Did I get those pins that time from Noah?
Yeah.
Great. Now, technically I shouldn't be using scissors for paper that I use also for fabric. What background colour did you want this to be?
Peach.
Peach, okay. So I'm just going to make a little snippet here. I could cut into it, but I'm going to just cut around here. So I'm making pattern pieces. And what colour do you want the yin-yang sign to be, Mark?
Black and white.
Black and white. Let's have this little thing. So here we have got the design, and the first thing that you need to do after you solidify your design is to buy your materials. So you buy the colour felt that you're going to need for the background. Now he's going to use a peach background here, and that's going to be in this size here, right? So what we do is we bring the paper right to the edge so we're not wasting any fabric, because if you were to cut it out from there, you're wasting all these bits around the side, okay? So you bring your pattern right up to the edge like this. And in some ways, you don't really even need a pattern. You just do a square. If you're not too confident cutting without a pattern, it's better to use one. So we just put a few pins. They're different needles. They've got no eye at the top of them. And we put the pins in through the fabric and the paper so that we have the shape fixed onto the felt. And then we just get our scissors and we cut around the edges. Out the white side of the yin-yang sign. The white is the yin sign and the black is the yang side. Do you remember what the black stands for?
Yang.
Yang, which is male or female?
Female.
Male. The black is male and the white is?
Female. Female.
Oh, sorry, actually it's the other way around. You're right, the black is female and the male is white. Anyway, you go around here and you've cut out a yin and a yang sign, and you can see that those pattern pieces stick together like that. And it's okay, like if there's a little bit of overlap or whatever, it's fine. Okay, you can be creative as you go along, and as you're cutting it out, you might think of new ideas, and you can go along with those. It's not like science, it's more like art and craft. So once we have those cut out, we remove the pattern pieces, put them to one side, you might need to use them again, and then get our background, referring back to our picture, okay? And we will place the yin and the yang sign in the center of the fabric. And it's not that fluffy, so you might just center it a little bit more. Mark, are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so after we have that down, it's not perfect, there's a few little jagged, crooked edges, but it's good enough, okay, for where we're at right now. You get your pins again, and you put them through the fabric. Center part of the yin sign here, and we've just gated off with pins where that circle is going to be. Now we could use tailor's chalk to mark it off, but I just want to do it fast today, right? So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to bring the fabric through the back, the needle, and I'm going to leave a little tail at the back like that, and then I'm going to make a little bar and bring that back in beside it. This is difficult enough to work with because I've not split the thread. I wanted to keep it thick so it would be quicker to do the satin stitch. So I've got 6 lines of thread in this needle right now. So then I just do another stitch, just literally side by side with it. Bring that through the back. Okay, and then bring this out here. Then bring this out here. And what I'm doing is just a load of stitches side by side, and that's making my little white dot in the yin, part of the yin-yang sign. So bring this back out again here. Any questions on this satin stitch? So what can this be used, this stitch?
Stitching on the yin-yang sign.
Obviously, but anything else?
For Or like face details maybe.
face details.
Lines.
Lines or maybe leaves. So there's a little circle. Are we happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so that's satin stitch. So it's just a load of stitches side by side. That's a new stitch we've learned today. Then we bring the fabric out the back, and we can just bring it through the back just once, and then just cut it. It won't come out. Right? And then that's that done. Now what we can do is we can do blanket stitch all around the side of the yin yang. Now, so that's your job mark, right? You can do your satin stitch in black just there, right? Now I'm going to look at a harder kind of design. So we don't have any colours in this design, and there's quite a lot of detail. Now what's good to do when you're photocopying these ideas, wait, this is the original here. It's red, I think it's black and red, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we want to do maybe is get the main figure there. We want to get that guy there. We've made several photocopies, so we can cut literally right into it. So this is how you do a harder shape. And I'm going to literally cut out that man. And you know, I'm going to kind of take a little bit of artistic license as I cut him out, and maybe make him a little bit wider at parts. And he's got quite a lot of fingers at the end that are all pointy. I might just simplify those fingers, because perhaps the person making this project might want to do the claws with another stitch rather than the actual felt. So I'm just cutting around it, making it an approximation of what the original design was. In order to simplify this design, we've just discussed how we would just cut out the background outline of where the red flames were. Instead of doing all the detail of the flames, which are quite interesting, we're just going to do an outline of all of these, and then we can place our figure in black on top of it at the end. Cutting out, sometimes when you have got details around the edges of something, you can just cut roughly around it, and then you can get closer to it like this. You can see here that we've got a very complicated design, and we've translated that into a very simple two pieces of felt that can be put onto another piece of felt and then applied onto a cushion cover or a apron or a t-shirt. Now, say if you've got something a little bit more complicated, like a face. What do we do there? Again, we photocopied a few times. There's our original picture. And what we can do is we don't have to do the nose and the mouth because they're just lines. But we might want to just do the eyes and the eyebrows. Rather than making them all separate pattern pieces, that's going to be really, really hard. So what I would recommend to do for this one is to look at this face as three parts: the hair, the face, and the clothes. So you'd literally have three parts. You'd cut out the face outline, you'd cut out the hair outline, and you'd cut out the clothes outline. You put them onto the background, and then you might just cut out the collar pieces separately, do the eyes on top of it. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So you'd just have the face in one big lump of orange, okay, and then for the eyes, you could just put white down and then do the black pupils and satin stitch in the middle at the end. Or you could sew the eyes, the nose and the mouth with just the outline of stitches. So we could do blanket stitch all around this image, and there is a video about how to do that. It's very difficult, it can be off-putting, so maybe to start off with, one of the first pieces that you would fix onto your design could just be plain running stitch. And it's literally just going in and out. Now it's not tacking, but you want the stitches to be pretty even spaced apart. So we're going to do kind of like a bigger running stitch here. A large running stitch, but they're all very evenly spaced out from each other. So the gaps in between each stitch are the same as the length of the stitches themselves. Okay? We don't want the stitches to get bigger progressively as we go around. We want to keep them all to be the same size as we go around. Okay?